There is a contract signed by every living thing that has ever existed, a contract with time itself. Life, in all its beauty and complexity, demands a final price: death. From the smallest fungus to the oldest elephant, everything carries a clock inside, ticking, unrelenting, coded deep within its DNA. But what if one creature refused to sign? Hidden beneath the blue surface of the Mediterranean, there exists a being that has quietly broken that ancient law. It is not myth, not science fiction. It is a biological fact. Meet Turritopsis dohrnii, the immortal jellyfish. Barely larger than a thumbnail, translucent and unremarkable to the eye, yet within its fragile anatomy lies something extraordinary: the secret of biological immortality. This is the creature that refuses to die. To understand how this tiny jellyfish rewrites the rules, we must first understand the ordinary life of its kind. Every jellyfish begins the same way, as a fertilized egg. That egg becomes a larva, a drifting planula that eventually settles on a solid surface: a rock, a reef, the shell of another creature. There, it transforms into a polyp, a small, rooted form resembling a sea anemone. The polyp clones itself, producing buds that separate and float away. Through a process called strobilation, these buds become young jellyfish, aphyra, that grow into adults. It is the natural order: birth, growth, reproduction, decline, the cycle of all things. But Turritopsis dohrnii does not follow the cycle to its end. When facing disease, starvation, or injury, when death approaches, this jellyfish performs the impossible. It reverses its course. Its cells stop aging. Its body reverts to an earlier stage of development, back to the polyp, the beginning of life. Imagine a butterfly turning itself back into a caterpillar, or a 90-year-old human returning to infancy, ready to live again. That process has a name: cellular transdifferentiation. It is not just healing, it is total cellular rebirth. Every cell reprograms itself, exchanging its identity for another. A transformation so profound that the entire organism begins anew. A complete biological reset, an unbroken loop of life. How does it happen? The answer lies in one of nature's most complex powers: cellular plasticity. In complex organisms like humans, cells specialize. A skin cell cannot become a neuron. A liver cell cannot turn into a heart cell. Once they choose their path, there is no turning back. Turritopsis dohrnii ignores that rule. When under extreme stress, its specialized cells, from its bell, its tentacles, its stomach, begin to reprogram. They regress to a primitive, undifferentiated form. This is de-differentiation, the cellular equivalent of rewinding a tape. The jellyfish activates genetic instructions usually silenced after embryonic life. In effect, it turns back the pages of its own biological book, returning to chapter 1, the chapter of beginnings. When the process completes, what was once an adult medusa becomes once more a colony of polyps, ready to grow again. And because this transformation can, in theory, happen endlessly, Turritopsis dohrnii does not die of old age. It is biologically immortal, unless it is eaten. Immortality, it seems, has its limits. It can outsmart time, but not predators. The discovery of this tiny jellyfish changed how science views life and death. Researchers study Turritopsis dohrnii not for wonder, but for what it might teach us. Inside its genome are the keys to cellular reprogramming, the power to turn back the biological clock. If we could understand and replicate its genetic switches, the implications would be immense. Cancer, for example, is the corruption of this very process, cells that forget how to die. The jellyfish shows the opposite, cells that remember how to start over. In regenerative medicine, its lessons could reshape everything we know: healing spinal injuries, regenerating heart tissue, reversing the decline of age. And then there is the philosophical question. If nature has already achieved immortality once, what else might it be hiding? Perhaps the secret of longevity is not in resisting time, but in accepting renewal. The jellyfish does not fight death. It transforms it into rebirth. It has learned that to live forever, one must always begin again. It has no brain, no heart, no consciousness, and yet, it has solved a mystery that has eluded every thinking species on Earth. Turritopsis dohrnii is more than a biological anomaly. It is a reminder that life is both fragile and relentless. It has no ambition, no fear, no understanding of its own power. Yet, it embodies what we humans have chased for millennia, the dream of eternity. The immortal jellyfish proves that the laws of nature are not walls, but doors. And sometimes, the smallest creature finds the one that leads beyond time itself. When scientists first confirmed the Turritopsis dohrnii's ability to reverse its life cycle, they realized they were witnessing something beyond evolution, a natural loophole in biology itself. Even today, researchers still cannot replicate its process in the lab. Every attempt to force human cells into the same endless renewal leads to mutation or death. The jellyfish holds a secret balance between chaos and control, a genetic harmony that allows rebirth without corruption. It reminds us that immortality is not about escaping time, but mastering renewal within it. Somewhere in the silent depths, this creature continues its quiet experiment, rewriting the boundary between life and decay. And perhaps, when humanity finally learns to read that code, we will discover that the first key to eternity was never hidden in the stars, but drifting in the sea all along. If you enjoyed this journey into the impossible truths of our world, leave a like, subscribe, and join us next time for another story that proves reality is always stranger than fiction. Veil Origins: Impossible Truths.